So today I'm down here again and I'm going to make a start on putting the frame together with the poles that I've gotten behind me. So essentially what I'm going to do today is put up these two main poles, the ones that are crisscross just there. One's going to go on the ground there, the other one in the ground over there, and then this big long pole is going to sit on top of them, and they'll sit about 6.5 foot high. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So what I need to do to achieve this is to dig holes there and there, and put the poles into the ground, and then I'm going to need to chisel out some notches at the top of them, and also chisel holes through each end of the top pole, and then they'll interlock and it'll allow it to sit on top of these two poles here. Now here's what I've done. So as you saw, I dug these holes. They are about 1 foot deep. About if I made a fist, it would be from the end of my fist to the corner of my elbow long. They go up quite far, about 1 foot higher than me, so maybe 7 foot, a little bit higher maybe. And what I have done just then as well is take out some little notches at the top here like that on either side, and I can't remember the name, it's some kind of joint, but these joints will interlock with this giant log here, and so right now I need to carve a hole through the end there and through the end over there as well, and then I'll be able to lift it up and be able to put it on top of it, and then I'll fill up these holes and do the other two sides, one there and one there, and probably next time. They'll be a little bit shorter than these, to make a nice sort of sloping roof on either side, and this hut will be similar to Primitive Technologies' tiled roof hut, but I've got some of my own sort of little plans to go with it. So yeah, it's going pretty well actually. Here's the progress so far with digging this little hole. It has taken such a long time, but I'm about halfway through, and now I'm going to flip it over and dig from the other side. So if you could believe me, it took an hour and a half just to carve that out through the middle of the wood. And I think it turned out really well actually. I think the secret to doing this is just taking your time and making sure you do it right, because if you mess it up then you might end up with a broken piece of wood and you might have to get a whole different piece just to try it again and then put it on. So right now I'm just going to put it onto here and test it out, and next time I still have to do the other side, which is going to take another hour and a half, and then I'll be able to put that on the other pole there. And when I do that I'll also fill in these holes and secure the posts, and yeah, then I'll have this main central frame up and I'll only have to do the two side ones next, which is also going to take a long time, but I'll get there. And as you can see here, it turned out really well. And that's all the time I've got down here today. I've spent a good 5-6 hours down here and I've progressed quite a lot, as you can see. So yeah, next time you'll see it now. I'm gonna put the hole in this next one and then be able to fill in the holes and finish the main frame here. So yeah, so now it's another day, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm just making sure they line up properly. So if it lines up at the bottom right, then it should line up at the top alright. And just on the other side I want to make sure that it's perfectly even and straight at the top as well. So I'm going to dig this hole out about right here. Alrighty, let's get into it. Now just flipping this whole thing over, I need to dig in from the other side of this log and then meet this other hole once again. So just feeling for the right spot and lining it up with the other end. I'm going to do it right here. Maybe a little bit thicker than that, but that's the general outline. So I've finished this joint and I'm just banging it in now, and it's actually really stiff compared to the other one. The other one's actually really loose. So this one will hold well, and yeah, I'm having to bang it really hard just to get it in. There you go. Perfect. Couldn't be any more perfect, I think. Sweet, now I'll put them up and fill in the holes and I'll be done. Well, for now anyway. This is heavy. Jesus, man. Okay. Oh. There it is. Tell you what, I'm happy with that. Now the good thing with this dirt as well is that it has a lot of stones in it, little pebbles and a few other bigger stones like that, so they'll help to compact the ground and in around where the pole is going in here. and just help keep it a bit more secure, and yeah, and then the structure won't fall over as easier. And what I can also do after filling it is get this pole and just push it in with the end of it, put all my weight on it and just chuck some pressure in it, and it just compacts it even more, and I can keep putting more dirt into this and keep compacting it more like that, and then it'll be all good. So I just need to make sure it's also all straight. And here we go. I've finished it. Finished this main frame. It's really straight. And there's the joint. It's all looking pretty well. And here I am standing underneath it. As you can see, I'm 6 foot about here. So that's another foot up. So the top of this is about 7 foot. It's pretty straight. It's wobbling just a tiny bit, but not too much, so that doesn't worry me. And it's strong enough I could probably hang off it. And yeah, it's looking all good. And just to end off this video, I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. So I've got this stick here. This is actually the one that I said I was going to use for a spear or something. That's the middle of it that I've marked off right there, and it's exactly halfway, so I'm going to put the next post in at the end of that stick and at the other end, and then I'll do the same for the end down here once I put it on. So it'll end up being one there and one over there, and they'll come up about 5 foot, I'm going to say. Because they are 6 foot, they'll go down a foot in the ground, so about 5 foot, and then I'll be able to then put a top post like that one on top of them, and that's going to take a while, just like these ones did, chiseling it out, but I won't need to show that again in the videos because you know I've done anyway. And then just to help support it a bit more, in the middle between these two posts, I'm going to end up putting another post in the middle of these outside posts once I put them in, and then so that'll be about there. And then if I come up from there, that one is also going to interlock with the same joint like them into the top post here. So it'll basically have, on either side of this top post, it'll be the same but a bit lower, and then an extra post like that and that one in the middle with an extra joint at the top, and it's just to hold them a bit better, so that when I make my roof it's all supported and it's all a lot stronger. And just some good news to end off on, I finally found some clay. So if you remember from one of my old videos, I went and explored a cliff just a bit away from my old hut, and I just explored the side of the cliff, and I just found it was really just stones and a little bit of white dirt. I couldn't find any clay that time, but I had another look up there, and I looked in some other places, and I came across this little gully sort of thing where the water comes down a steep slope, and I actually found a little bit of clay, and it's looking like some really good clay. There's some blue clay like I'd like, and some orange clay which is really sticky, so that's really interesting as well. And yeah, that means I can dig that out and transport it down here. It's not too far away, so I can easily get it down here. And hopefully what I want to do is make some tiles for the roof, and it's going to take a long time, but I'm willing to try that out. I've got the whole summer, and I'd like to build a furnace. I've got a place in mind just here. I won't show you just yet. And also I know a good place to dig out some dirt, and I'll use that dirt to put it on the sides of the hut once I've finished the roof and once I start building the walls. So I've got a whole plan in my head, and it's all working out perfectly. So enjoy, and see you again in the next video.